Hatred for the sake of Allah. UK Islamic charity faces backlash. The Tawheed Islamic Education Centre, or TIEC for short, in Maidenhead in the United Kingdom, is under fire for alleged extremism and misogyny, sparking widespread condemnation. The center employed, how do I pronounce this? Dzhamilya Timaeva, a 20-year-old Chechen refugee recently on trial for disseminating terrorist materials. So that's this girl in this image right here. Prosecutors revealed that Timaeva uh, created lessons plans. She created lesson plans for children in this mosque using the book Little Muwahideen, which glorifies jihad and includes a section, again, in a book for children. And the section is titled Hatred for the Sake of Allah. Gareth Weetman, prosecuting, described the material as, quote, not just teaching about the basics of Islam, but indoctrinating young minds. Compounding the controversy, a 2022 sermon by TIEC leader Ustadh Yahya Al-Raaby advocated forcing women to wear hijabs, stating in this old sermon has recently come to light and then was removed from their websites, right? Stating that men should admonish their wives and use harsher, stern approach if necessary if they refuse. The National Secular Society has called on regulators to act, reporting them to the Charity Commission and denouncing the charity for promoting extremism and misogyny. Quote, it is shocking to hear these views in 21st century Britain, Megan Manson, head of campaigns at the NHS, stated. Charities must not be used as a vehicle for misogyny and extremism. To be honest, is it shocking to hear these views in 20th century Britain, 21st century Britain? No, no,
Used to
it's
be
not.
shocking.
I'm not saying it's right, but it's not shocking, to be honest. Um, so let's dig into this case a little bit further. So basically, and I would love to give a shout out to the National Secular Society of the UK. There because my friends, there are a lot of like atheist, humanist, secular organizations around the world in different countries that talk about everything except Islamic radicalism in their countries. Most of them are focused on evangelical extremism, well, at least here in America, Christian nationalism, whatever. And literally no one says anything about the hatred, anti-Semitism, terrorism, and radicalism that is openly promoted in, Juma prayers freaking every week. They're noticeably silent about that misuse of the religious charitable designation, right? National Secular Society is not one of those organizations. They are extremely consistent and they are constantly calling out these Islamic charities that are promoting extremism and terrorism and constantly reporting them to the Charity Commission. So I would just like to give a shout out to them because I think that work is very necessary and I appreciate their consistency on this issue and the fact that they do not turn the other way, probably for all the other politically correct reasons that other people turn away. So let's first dig into the one of the things that first led to this mosque being put on notice. So basically, there was this woman who was working for the mosque, and she has been charged with um disseminating terrorist publications and possessing a document for terrorist purposes. And she was employed at this mosque. She's a Chechen refugee, young woman, and she was had this lesson plan for children called Little Muwahideen. And this is how it's described. The book has a colorful cartoon style aimed at children and has sections about waging war for Islam and hatred for the sake of Islam. Um, the prosecutor added that this woman saw it as her duty to teach these extremist beliefs to young children. So she's like, yeah, this is my duty. Um, and she's alleged to have sent the electronic version of this cartoon lesson plan to the specific mosque. Um, and then in the case involving the rest of her prosecution, she told the court uh that her support for jihad only applied to Chechen men fighting Russia. It's like, oh yeah,
Oh,
well I
sure.
support jihad, but it's only for the Chechens. Okay.
You guys
Um,
hate Russia, right? So this is only Chechens fighting Russia.
yeah, it's no big deal. Come on.
Sure, sure.
Um, so following so that this whole case with her brought attention to this mosque. Following that attention, it was reported to the National Secular Society of a video that was published allegedly on the mosque's website in 2022. And the sermon was titled, "What Does It Mean to Be a Man or a Woman?" Given by Ustadh Yahya Al-Raaby, and he's the principal and head of the mosque's Tawheed Institute, which offers weekly structured Islamic science studies and caters to children from 6 to adult learners. So this is who he's responsible for teaching. Um, in the sermon, he said that, quote, "A man is the one who tells his family, his women to cover up, and he teaches that to them from a young age." He said that a man commands his daughters to wear hijab even before they are 15 years old. Then continuing, if a woman refuses to cover, the husband must admonish her and shouldn't share a bed with her until she obeys him in covering up. So this is obviously an extension of Quran 434 that prescribes wife beating, by the way. If she refuses, the man should take harsher, stern approach, including taking away her luxuries and making things perhaps a bit more difficult for her to cover up, to be a bit more forceful. End quote. He also continued, the place of a woman is in a home. If there's no need for her to go out, she shouldn't be going out, meaning she should be confined to the home. A woman should not be going out without the permission of her husband or her father or whoever is responsible for him. He continued, if she is not obeying him, and this is what they don't like to hear, you have to obey the one that is responsible for you, whether that is your father, which is of course a given, and also your husband. He also continued that it is not desirable for a woman to work, that it is wrong for a woman to work while her husband raises the children because men have authority over women, and said that a husband who takes the role of raising children at home is not a man, he is a woman. Um, Continuing that we must take these matters very seriously because otherwise this society becomes corrupt. So, Armin, now that I have shared a little bit more context about what our friend here is preaching, what are your reactions?
My reaction is like, the whole hatred for the sake of Allah. Do you guys want this? Is I mean, I know we're not shocked anymore, but I try to remain shocked because it's insane to teach children, yeah, you should hate. Like, imagine, how it's common for us to teach children to love, to care, to share, to show empathy and sympathy. Imagine how fucked up your worldview has to be to actively go tell children to hate for the sake of Allah. And the reason why they say for the sake of Allah, it means that even if you don't feel hatred, make yourself feel hatred, because you don't have to hate, because usually when we hate something, we hate it for our own sake because we are disgusted by something, we don't like something. So Islamically, when they say hate for the sake of Allah, it means that you should try hating something even if it doesn't feel like you should be hating it, because Allah wants you to hate it, right? So the term hatred for, so it comes from بغض بغض في Allah, originates from the Islamic teachings about the concept of al-wala wal-bara. People who speak Arabic tell me if I pronounce it well, which translate to loyalty and disavowal. This concept is based on the idea that Muslims love and allegiance, basically wala, should be directed towards Allah, His religion, and those who adhere it, while their disavowal or bara should be directed towards anything contrary to Islam, including disbelief or kufr and sinful action. So this is why when you see a Muslim that tells, for example, a Christian or an atheist, I hate you for the sake of Allah, means that, yeah, maybe you're not demonstrating any behavior that makes me want to hate you, but I will hate you anyways for the sake of Allah, because it's my duty to hate you. And they're teaching this to children. To children. This is going to fuck up their minds. Like, I don't know how you could recover from this. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and this organization is afforded all of the benefits of a charity within the United Kingdom as a privilege above other organizations.
Oh wow! Wait. They're tax. They're tax exempt.
I actually don't. I'm assuming they're tax exempt. I actually am not
Okay,
familiar with that matter
oh,
of
this is
law
great.
in
This
the
is
UK. I'm
fantastic.
assuming so because they were reported to the Charity Commission because of this. So presumably they're a
So
charity.
that they're a charity. So not only they're actually being guys. It's not that they exist in the UK. They're also taking advantage of your
They're
legal systems
subsidized.
to not. They're subsidized. Fucking hell.
'Cause I don't know if people will understand that, like, by the matter of you being tax-free by being a charity or de facto subsidized by the taxpayer. Because you're
Shit.
exempt
Okay. What is?
from other requirements.
Wait.
Refuses to have.
Do we have time for this video? Because we have only five. Oh yeah, it's short. It's 1 minute. We
Okay,
have only
so
5 minutes left.
there's one thing I
Yeah.
wanna clarify, though, is that this is an example of a different masjid in the UK. But this is, like and
Yeah.
this was a masjid that we covered previously for
We have
misogyny
only
in
4
the
minutes.
UK.
Yeah.
But so this is not the same one, but this is kind of like an example of the type of rhetoric, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Just to
So
make that
let's
clear.
listen to it. Yes, really clear. If we have 4 minutes. Okay, let's replay this again.
Nushuz here means she, for example, refuses to have intercourse with him. Then he gives her admonition. She comes back to intercourse, then khalas. If it doesn't benefit and she continues to refuse having intercourse with him, فإن أظهرت نشوزا هجرها, she continues in that, he boycotts her, meaning he doesn't sleep with her in the same bed. He doesn't leave the house, he's still in the house, but he doesn't sleep in the same bed as her. He abandons sleeping with her in the bed. فإن لم يردعها ذلك, if that doesn't, I said 4, right? Sorry, it's 3. If that doesn't help, then he's allowed to hit her, a hitting that does not bruise and that does not break bones.
Yeah, by the way, this part is not part of the clarification is not part of the Quran. The Quran doesn't clarify that. He's adding that.
Meaning, مثلا, he shakes
This is Quran 434 if you want to go
her,
check.
or the likes of the like.
So just
Anyways,
to make
this
this
is the UK,
abundantly
guys.
clear, this comes directly sanctioned by the perfect word of God.
And this is from a charity. This is actually from another charity. So this guy is this activity is also being tax exempt. By the way, this was, let's give credit where credit is due. This was one of the videos that Dee selected from us from a charity example in the UK. So that's why we played that. And thank you so much, Dee. Because we're running out of time, I'm not going to highlight the comments in the articles, but the video was from the videos that Dee selected. However, we did get it. Asian American gave us a super chat.
Oh my goodness. I think he was talking about scaphism. Gasian, what does this mean?
We don't know what it means, but we don't know what it means, but we appreciate the super chat, guys. We're gonna go, but don't forget to like the stream and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to hit the bell notification, and don't forget to recommend the Atheist Republic channel to your friends and to your enemies. Please do it. Make sure you help us grow this channel. We want to get to 100K. 100K, okay? So advertise us, okay? And most importantly, don't forget to remain liberal, and stay Zionist. Till next show, love all of you. Nope, take that back. I only love the people who have liked the stream. Shame on everyone else. Bye. Mwah, 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 mwah. Till next show. Bye.
Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.